Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video on how to install Wifislax OS on your PC. There will be two parts of the video, part one of bootable of the Penvive, and second one is installation. Currently, we're showing part two, showcasing the how to boot to live device using BIOS. It's a live bootable image. So, assuming you have followed the steps in part one, you should have your bootable USB drive ready in your hand. The first thing you need to do is plug that USB drive into your computer while it is completely turned off. We need to tell the computer to start up from this USB stick instead of your normal Windows hard drive. To do this, we're going to use the boot menu or the BIOS settings. Go ahead and press the power button to turn on your laptop or PC. The moment you see the screen light up, you need to start pressing your boot menu key repeatedly. Now, this key is different for every brand. If you're using HP, it is usually F9. If you're on a Dell, it is likely F12. For Lenovo, it might be F12 or small button on the side. For Asus and Acer, it is often F2 or Escape. You might need to Google your specific laptop model if you aren't sure, but usually you will see a quick flash of text at the bottom of the screen telling you which key to press. Once the boot menu pops up, you will see a list of drives. Look for your USB drive. It might be named after the brand like SanDisk or Kingston, or just say USB storage. Use your arrow keys to select it and hit enter. Once you hit enter, you will be greeted by the Wifislax boot menu. This is where things get interesting. You'll see a blue screen with several options. Generally, you want to stick with the first option, which is usually labeled something like Run with Kernel SMP. This is the standard mode that works for most modern multi-core processors. If you have a very old computer, you might need the other kernel options, but for 99% of you, the first option is the one to pick. After that, you might be asked to select a desktop environment. Wifislax typically offers two main flavors, KDE and XFCE. If you have a powerful computer with plenty of RAM, say 8 GB or more, I highly recommend choosing KDE. It looks beautiful, modern, and very much like Windows, so it is easy to navigate. However, if you are running this on an older laptop or a netbook with low specs, choose XFCE. It is much more lightweight and will make the system run smoother. Select your preference and hit enter. Now, don't panic. You're going to see a lot of text scrolling rapidly down your screen. This is completely normal. It is just Linux loading all the necessary drivers, mounting the file system, and detecting your Wi-Fi card. You don't need to do anything here. Just let it do its thing. After about 30 seconds to a minute, the text will stop, the screen might flicker once or twice, and then you'll be dropped right into the desktop environment. Welcome to Wifislax. If you chose KDE, you will see a taskbar at the bottom similar to Windows. The first thing you should notice is that your Wi-Fi card should be detected automatically. You can check this by looking at the network icon in a system tray near the clock. If you can see available networks, you are good to go. Now, let's talk about why we're actually here, the features and tools. Wifislax is not just a normal operating system. It is a penetration testing distro specialized in wireless security. If you click on the Start menu, usually located in the bottom left corner, you will see the standard categories like Internet, Multimedia, and System. But the most important category here is the one labeled Wifislax. This is where the magic happens. When you hover right over the Wifislax folder, you will see it expand into a massive list of subcategories. This is organized very logically to help you find the specific tool you need for the security audit you're performing. For example, you'll see a folder for encryption. Inside there, you have tools specifically for WPA, WPA2, and WPS protocols. This is where you find popular automated scripts. These scripts are user-friendly interfaces that combine multiple complex commands into simple windows, making it much easier for beginners to audit their network security without typing miles of code. You'll also see a section for forensics and managers. The managers section often contains tools to handle your wireless card specifically, allowing you to switch it into monitor mode. Monitor mode is essential because it allows your Wi-Fi card to listen to all traffic in the air, not just the traffic sent to your computer. Most of the tools in Wifislax will automatically try to switch your card to monitor mode, but if you ever need to do it manually, this is where you go. Another great feature of Wifislax is its driver support. Unlike standard Linux distributions like Ubuntu or Mint, which might struggle with specialized Wi-Fi adapters, Wifislax comes preloaded with a vast library of drivers for chipsets from Realtek, Ralang, Atherin, and MediaTek. This means if you have an external, high-powered Wi-Fi antenna, there's a very high chance it will work simply by plugging it in, usually with injection support enabled right out of the box. Let's look at the dictionary tools. Security auditing often involves testing passwords against lists. Wifislax include efficient generators that can create word lists based on specific criteria, which is helpful if you're testing the strength of your own password against brute force attacks. But it's not all about hacking. Wifislax is a full live OS. You have the Firefox or Chrome browser pre-installed. You can browse the web, watch YouTube videos, or download extra word lists while you're working. You have a file manager that can access your Windows hard drive. This is actually a really useful feature. If your Windows ever crashes and you can't boot up, you can use this Wifislax stick to boot up, access your C drive, and rescue your important files before reinstalling Windows. One important thing to remember is that we're currently in live mode. This means that everything you're doing right now is happening in your computer's RAM. If you create a text file on the desktop or if you capture a Handshake file and then you restart your computer, those files will be gone. The system resets to its original state every time you reboot. If you want to save your work, you must plug in a second USB drive or save the files to your computer's internal hard drive. Do not save them to the desktop of Wifislax unless you plan to move them before shutting down. We also have a suite of testing tools for different protocols. Aside from Wi-Fi, there are often tools for Bluetooth auditing and general network analysis like Wireshark. Wireshark is pre-installed and configured, allowing you to analyze network packets in real time to understand how data flows across your network. Take some time to explore the system menu as well. You'll find installation tools there while we're running this live right now. If you decide you love this OS and want to keep it permanently, there is an installer script that can install Wifislax to your hard drive alongside Windows. However, for most users, keeping it on a USB stick like we're doing now is the best and safest way to use it. So, to summarize what we're looking at, you have a robust, secure, and portable operating system dedicated to network analysis. It's powerful, so always remember to use these tools ethically and responsibly. You should only ever use these utilities on networks that you own or have explicit permission to test. Using them on someone else's network without permission is illegal and unethical. That brings us to the end of our tour. Now you know how to boot up Wifislax from a USB drive and navigate the interface. You've seen where the tools are hiding and how to access the specialized drivers. From here, it's up to you to learn the specific tools you need for your testing. Thank you so much for watching this two-part series. I hope this guide helped you get your lab setup up and running. If you ran into any issues with the boot process or the black screen, let me know in the comments below, and I'll try to help you out. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more tutorials like this. See you in the next one.